If you woke up this morning with a strange metallic taste in your mouth, you might be doing better than you think. If your muscles have been twitching slightly around your eyes or cramping in your calves at night, that might actually be good news. And if the scale has not moved in 2 weeks despite you doing everything right, your body might be burning more fat than ever. Most people measure fat loss with one number on a scale. But the scale is one of the worst tools for measuring whether your body is actually burning fat. Your body can be actively dissolving stored fat while the number on the scale stays completely still or even goes up slightly. Because at the same time you're losing fat, you might be gaining muscle, retaining water from exercise, or rebuilding tissue. None of that shows up as weight loss, but all of it shows up in these 12 signs. Once you know what to look for, your body tells you exactly what fuel it is running on. And the difference between running on sugar versus running on fat is not subtle. It changes how you feel, how you think, how you sleep, and how you age. Here are the 12 signs your body has shifted into fat burning mode. Sign number 1, unusual breath in the morning. You wake up and notice your breath has a slightly fruity or chemical smell. Not the usual morning breath, something different. Almost like nail polish remover or overripe fruit. Most people find this alarming and start brushing more aggressively. But this smell is actually a direct signal that your liver was burning body fat through the night. When your liver breaks down fat for fuel, it produces molecules called ketones. One of those ketones is acetone. Acetone is volatile and your body releases it through your lungs. That smell on your breath in the morning is literally the exhaust from your liver burning stored fat while you slept. The stronger the smell, the more active the fat burning was overnight. As your metabolism becomes more efficient at running on fat, the smell typically fades over a few weeks. Sign number 2, dry mouth and stronger thirst when you wake up. You sleep well, but wake up feeling like you barely hydrated at all. Your mouth is dry, you are thirsty faster than usual, and you might be visiting the bathroom more often throughout the day. When your body begins burning through its glycogen reserves, the stored sugar in your liver and muscles, it releases a significant amount of water. Every single gram of glycogen is stored alongside 3 to 4 grams of water. As that glycogen gets used up during the shift to fat burning, all of that stored water gets released and flushed out. This is why people often lose weight quickly in the first week of a new diet. Most of that initial drop is glycogen and water leaving the body. The dry mouth and increased thirst are signs that this glycogen depletion is happening, which means fat burning is about to begin or has already started. Adding electrolytes and staying well hydrated supports this transition considerably. Sign number 3, skin changes that seem unrelated to your diet. You are eating cleaner than ever, but your skin develops a temporary itch, a mild rash, or small breakouts. Fat cells are not just storage tanks for energy. They also accumulate fat-soluble toxins over years, heavy metals, environmental pollutants, and chemical compounds that dissolve in fat. When you start burning fat, those toxins get released into your bloodstream. Your liver has to process and clear them. If the liver is temporarily overwhelmed, some clearance happens through the skin. The result is temporary itching or mild breakouts that typically last 3 to 4 weeks before resolving. This is not an allergic reaction. It is your body clearing out years of accumulated storage from fat cells that are finally being emptied. Bitter foods like arugula and diluted apple cider vinegar can support liver processing during this phase. Sign number 4, muscle twitching or cramping, especially at night. Your eye twitches slightly for a few days. Or you move your foot at a certain angle in bed, and your calf seizes up painfully. These are not signs of a problem. They are signs of a transition. When your body burns through glycogen rapidly and releases the water stored alongside it, it also flushes out electrolytes. Specifically, potassium, magnesium, and sodium leave the body faster than usual. These 3 minerals are essential for proper nerve and muscle signaling. When their levels drop, the electrical signals that coordinate muscle contractions become slightly erratic. Eating more avocado, leafy greens, and nuts addresses the potassium and magnesium loss. A small amount of quality sea salt in water helps replace sodium. These symptoms almost always resolve within 1 to 2 weeks as the body stabilizes. Sign number 5, hunger disappears between meals. You used to need a snack 2 hours after breakfast, or you would feel shaky and irritable. Now you can go from one meal to the next without even thinking about food. This is not willpower getting stronger, this is your fuel source changing. When your body runs on sugar, blood sugar rises after meals and then falls. That fall is what creates the feeling of hunger, urgency, and cravings. The bigger the spike, the harder the crash, and the more desperate the craving that follows. When your body shifts to burning fat, ketones enter the bloodstream. Ketones stabilize blood sugar in a way that glucose simply cannot. The sharp peaks and valleys of sugar metabolism flatten into a steady, sustained energy release. No sharp drop means no desperate hunger signal. No desperate hunger signal means no mid-afternoon craving collapse. When hunger between meals disappears without effort, your body is running on fat. Sign number 6, mental clarity and the end of the afternoon crash. 2 in the afternoon used to feel like a wall. Your thinking slows, your eyes feel heavy, and you reach for coffee or something sweet just to get through the next 2 hours. When your body shifts to fat burning, that wall disappears. Not because you are toughing it out, because the fuel your brain is receiving has changed entirely. Research shows that ketones produced from fat burning are roughly 22% more efficient than glucose at generating energy inside brain cells. Your mitochondria process fat-derived fuel more cleanly and with less metabolic waste. The result is sustained cognitive energy throughout the day without the crash that sugar dependency creates. If you notice you are thinking more clearly in the afternoon without coffee or a snack, your brain has shifted its primary fuel source. Sign number 7, sweating more during movement but feeling colder at rest. During exercise, you notice you are sweating more than usual for the same level of effort, but when you sit down and rest, you feel colder than before. Both are happening for related reasons. When your body burns fat, thermogenesis becomes more active and generates more heat during activity. Your body responds by sweating more to cool itself down. But at rest, 2 things work against warmth. Your body fat percentage is decreasing, meaning less physical insulation, and your resting metabolism becomes more efficient, generating less waste heat. The result is more sweat during movement and more chill during stillness, both in the same body, both at the same time, and both are signs of fat burning. Sign number 8, waking between 1 and 3 in the morning during the first few weeks. You fall asleep normally, but find yourself wide awake and strangely alert in the early hours. This happens during the transition when your body has not yet fully adapted to fat as fuel. Blood sugar becomes temporarily unstable in the early hours of the night. When it drops slightly, your body releases cortisol to bring it back up. Cortisol at 1 or 2 in the morning is enough to partially wake you. This is almost always temporary. As your body adapts over 2 to 3 weeks, it learns to release stored fat steadily through the night instead of relying on blood sugar. Once that adaptation completes, sleep typically becomes deeper than it was before the transition began. Sign number 9, your waist is getting smaller, but the scale is not moving. This is the one that causes the most unnecessary quitting. People stop seeing the number drop, assume nothing is happening, and give up right before visible results emerge. Here is what the scale cannot tell you. Visceral fat, the fat stored around your organs deep in your abdomen, is metabolically active. It responds to changing hormonal conditions faster than subcutaneous fat under your skin. When you shift to fat burning, visceral fat starts releasing stored energy first. Your waist begins to shrink and your stomach feels less firm and pressurized. But at the same time, if you are doing any resistance training or increased walking, your muscles are retaining water as they rebuild. That water weight can exactly offset the fat loss on the scale. So the number stays still while your body composition is actively and meaningfully changing. Measure your waist every 2 weeks with a measuring tape. That number tells the real story. Sign number 10, digestive changes in the first few weeks. Your digestion behaves differently than usual, either slower or faster than before. Both directions are normal and both signal the same thing. Your gut microbiome and digestive enzymes are adapted to processing whatever you have been eating for years. When your diet shifts toward fewer carbohydrates and more fat and protein, the gut has to reorganize. This reorganization takes 1 to 4 weeks. The temporary changes you experience are evidence that the transition is real and active. Adding soluble fiber from chia seeds, avocado, and berries helps feed the beneficial bacteria that thrive on fat-based metabolism. Sign number 11. Less morning stiffness in joints and muscles. You used to need 10 or 15 minutes after getting up before your body felt functional. Now you get up and move with noticeably less resistance. This is driven by the anti-inflammatory properties of ketones. When your body produces ketones from fat burning, those ketones directly suppress inflammatory pathways. Research has shown that ketones specifically inhibit a protein complex called NLRP3, one of the primary drivers of chronic low-grade inflammation in the body. Lower inflammation means less fluid accumulation around joints, less muscle tension, and faster morning recovery. If your mornings have started feeling physically easier without any change in your condition or medication, your internal inflammatory environment has shifted. That shift is being driven by fat burning. Sign number 12, your resting heart rate is gradually decreasing. Over weeks of consistent fat burning, your resting heart rate slowly drops. What was perhaps 75 or 80 beats per minute starts moving toward 65 or lower. Your mitochondria become more efficient at using oxygen when processing fat as fuel, requiring less cardiovascular effort for the same energy output. And when your body no longer depends on quick sugar, adrenaline levels naturally decrease. Lower adrenaline means your nervous system spends more time in the calm, parasympathetic state. A resting heart rate between 60 and 70 beats per minute typically emerges after 1 to 3 weeks of consistent fat burning. It is one of the most objective and measurable signs on this entire list. Now let's connect all 12 of these together. Morning breath with a fruity chemical smell means your liver was burning fat overnight. Dry mouth means glycogen is depleting and fat burning is beginning. Skin changes means fat cells are releasing stored toxins as they empty. Muscle twitching means electrolytes are flushing as water leaves with glycogen. Hunger disappearing between meals means ketones are stabilizing blood sugar. Mental clarity replacing the afternoon crash means your brain is running on fat. Sweating more during movement but colder at rest means thermogenesis is active. Waking at 1 or 2 in the morning is a temporary transition sign that resolves within weeks. Your waist shrinking while the scale holds still means visceral fat is leaving while muscle rebuilds. Digestive changes mean your gut is adapting to a new fuel environment. Less morning stiffness means inflammation is dropping as ketones suppress inflammatory pathways. And a lower resting heart rate means your mitochondria have adapted to fat as primary fuel. Not all 12 will appear at once. Some you may never notice. But if you are seeing 3 or 4 of these, your body is burning fat right now, even if the scale has not told you yet. Start measuring your waist instead of your weight. Take a photo once a month. Notice your energy in the afternoon. Notice your hunger between meals. These are the real metrics of fat loss. And if this helped you understand what your body is actually telling you, hit that like button. And tell me in the comments, which of these 12 signs are you experiencing right now? Your body has been sending you signals this whole time. Now you know how to read them.